Good morning and welcome to our service today. Just a few things to note that will be different during our in-person services as we try to maintain safety precautions. In the interest of your privacy, we'll share joys and concerns at the end of the service when we are recording. Joys and concerns cards are on the back of the table for you to jot down what you would like us to share with this group. We will not be passing a basket to collect our offerings. Instead, you may drop off your offering in the basket on the table at the rear of the church if you have not already done so. These changes are only one way for us to fulfill our covenant of care to one another. Let us begin. Welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Kelly McGinty, and I have the great honor of serving as the board president. I am a UU because this is a spiritual community that welcomes all and is always committed to growth and widening our circles of connection to all of our human siblings. We used to have a blessing of the pet ceremony here before COVID, so I could say we even try to widen our circle to our furry family members as well. My hope is that someday soon we can enjoy each other's company again and its entirety, and yes, that includes bringing back our pet blessing ceremonies. So come, whoever you are, worshiper or wanderer, we welcome all of you to our service, especially those of you that are searching for a spiritual home. Many of us were once seeking for something larger than ourselves to which we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We strive to do that in this congregation. We also welcome Reverend Jami Yandle, who will soon be sharing a sermon with us for the first time today. Reverend Yandle is SGUUF's new contract minister, and we are so excited and proud to have them here with us at San Gabriel. I'm sure you will find the topic of the sermon to be insightful, or challenging, or informative, or provocative, or maybe all of those things. It is our custom to light our Unitarian Universalist symbol of faith, a flaming chalice. Our chalice lighting words today are by Molly Brewer. My beloved people, I cannot pretend, and so I will not tell you that everything is okay right now, that there is no reason to be angry, and that you must be optimistic or at peace. I cannot pretend these things, and so I won't tell them to you. But now our chalice is lit. And so, all I ask in this moment is that we remember the words of Rebecca Parker. There is a love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all. By the light of our chalice, let us rest in this love. Our ingathering hymn is Circle Round for Freedom. It is number 155 in the gray hymnal. Jackie will play the melody through one time as an introduction, and because the hymn is short, we will then sing it twice. I invite you to sing quietly or hum along, and if you would like to stand, that would be fine.
Introductions, as I interpret them, start at the beginning of a story, the beginning of who you are and how you came to be. Today is our beginning together. And I feel so honored and so lucky to be your minister. You have done the brave work of being lay-led for over a year. I know you are tired, I know you are weary, and I hope you might find rest here in this community today, knowing that looking for a minister is one less thing you have to worry about. I come to you from a healthcare chaplaincy background. I am a board-certified chaplain who is fresh off working through a pandemic on the front lines in my previous role as a hospice chaplain. I am very involved in the UUA on a national level and currently work on the Hope for Us conflict engagement team as a coach. I hold national awards for my work on trauma teams, and the ministry I'm creating is blended and infused with the guidance of UUA leadership and the scrappy and bold praxis of our faith, which I feel most deeply when I am with you in our congregation. And I chose you, San Gabriel, because of your commitment to social justice, your desire to have a minister who might know a thing or two about pastoral care, and your ability and desire to forge a new way forward despite the trauma and the hardships this fellowship has faced. It is commendable. And I hope we will grow together in Unitarian Universalism and in our love towards each other and the larger world. Thank you for inviting me into your community and your circle, and now let us prepare for the rest of service.
I'm glad I wore my waterproof mascara today because I'm already so just wait for all the things that are coming. So now we're going to do our affirmation. Our affirmation reminds us who we are in fellowship and our sacred covenant to each other. So please join in reading our affirmation. The doctrine of this church is love. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. This is the time in our service where we would normally collect an offering. Instead, we ask you to place the offering in the basket at the rear of the church, or you can always mail your pledge. San Gabriel UU Fellowship is grateful to all for your giving of time, talents, and financial support. And now for our Wonder Box, which has gotten a lot of us through the pandemic. Our Director of Religious Education, Karina, has a story for all ages. I wonder what will be in the Wonder Box today.
Good morning, everyone. It's so wonderful to be with you, and good morning to everyone who is joining us from home. I'm so grateful for this technology and our volunteers that we can be together both here and at home. So, a Wonder Box, yes. What could be in here? Some mysteries we know remain unknowable, are beyond human understanding, but not what's in this box. So if you have a guess, I'll shake it up a little. Any guesses as to what might be in here today? If you're at home, tell someone near you. Allie? Pack of cards? Okay, that might be a good thought. Anyone else? A book? Circles. Oh, someone's on theme. Yeah, we're going to open it up. Let's see. It's a very small one. Can you tell what it is? It's a little umbrella, and I brought a bigger one because, of course, I have a rainbow umbrella as well. What do umbrellas do? They protect us both from rain. Yes, did you want to say? You were going to say that it's good to protect us from rain or from sun. And I've got have you ever had that feeling, or you've tried where you've had your umbrella up and someone comes along and you're like, come get under the umbrella with me? Well, I've got a story about that, and let's take a look at it.
The Big Umbrella by Amy Bates and Juniper Bates. Shared with permission from Simon & Schuster Publishers. Front door. There is it is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. It likes to help. It likes to spread its arms wide. It loves to give shelter. It loves to gather people in. It doesn't matter if you are tall or hairy or plaid. It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Some people worry there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is. There is always room. The end.
So as Reverend Jami speaks with us about how we are enlarging our circles, that story of an umbrella came to me, and we talked about that and how it was a good visual for what we are trying to do at San Gabriel with having a very large umbrella, even bigger than the rainbow one. So we're going to go outside, and fortunately it's a beautiful sunny day. We're going to spend some time outside. We'll talk a little bit more about how we can make our umbrellas large. I'll see you then.
All right, it's me again. So I was preparing this morning, which is uncharacteristic for me, with my lay leadership script. Usually I have this done like 5 or 6 days, if not weeks, before I have to come up here. So for whatever reasons that happened during the week, I found myself having to push it off till this morning. And so I was texting poor Reverend Jami and was like, I have to do a bio about you. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to look at what they have at the UUA website. I'll just pull it from there. And then I looked at the one on the UUA website, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is the one I'm going to read. And they got back to me and said, they were supposed to change that. No. So I would like to thank Reverend Jami Yandle for being here with us today and offering their words of wisdom with us. And this is the short bio from the UUA website that I got this morning. So sometimes putting things off till the last minute offers great rewards. The Reverend Jami A. Yandle, if Reverend Jami Yandle's life were a circus, it would be called the Congregation Community Anti-Oppression Balancing Ballet. And it would have at least 7 rings. Jami's passion for the fire-eating antics of public theology and justice-making were ignited at Union Theological Seminary and carried into their work as a community minister serving on the board of the Texas UU Justice Ministry. Recently, Jami has taken on dancing with all of the elephants in the room through congregational consulting, specializing in post-traumatic system work, as well as ministering to the lions and tigers at San Gabriel UU Fellowship in Central Texas. They have a fire for building circles of anti-oppressive, covenant-centered Unitarian Universalists who transform our institutions into the greatest justice-making show on earth. It's pretty good, right? And with that, you're up.
For the record, that was one of those group building things. And I also feel like I was being punked this morning. Because Widening the Circle was conceived of and published at the level of the Unitarian, let me restart everything and get situated. Sorry, y'all. All right. Because Widening the Circle was conceived of and published at the level of the Unitarian Universalist Association, individual members and congregations are often confused about the context and implications of the report. I want to spend a little time breaking down Widening the Circle and what that actually means, and then engage with it. When I say Unitarian Universalism, many people think of this group of people here at San Gabriel Fellowship. Others will think of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the organization this congregation, San Gabriel UU Fellowship, joined. Both of these organizations are institutions which hold and grow Unitarian Universalism, but they are not the religion itself. Unitarian Universalism is a religion founded in the consolidation of 2 separate faith traditions. The Unitarians, who held the fundamental belief that God is only one entity and not 3, as professed by the Trinitarians who believe that God inhabited the Son, Jesus, God the Father, and the Holy Ghost. This ages-old argument stems back to the first 400 years after Jesus lived. It was settled by the Council of Nicaea in 425 AD, where the Trinity was in fact upheld. After this decision, Unitarians went underground and worshiped privately until the Protestant Revolution. The other half of our heritage comes from the Universalists, who fundamentally believed that an all-loving God would not condemn any soul to eternal torture in hell. Universalists were in staunch opposition to Calvinism, which posited the theological position of predestination, or the idea that individuals were destined to heaven or hell from the moment they were born. In the late 19th century, Universalism's core message that all are saved through God's love had expanded to embrace the idea that the kingdom of heaven is reflected in love for one another. Both Universalists and Unitarians were involved in the social gospel movement, in which Christianity is practiced by serving those on the margins of society. And then a lot of other stuff happened, like a lot. Too much to cover now. But learning about your history is what religious education is for. We're going to skip a few hundred years to the consolidation in 1961, when the Unitarians and the Universalists, led by the youth, who were joined 2 years earlier, formed one religion, one Unitarian Universalism. Today, our shared faith rests in 5 core values and 3 disciplines. Our 5 core values come from an essay written by humanist theologian, Harvard professor, and Unitarian James Luther Adams, also known as JLA. JLA tells us in the first smooth stone, revelation is open and continuous. He means that the truth isn't written in some book, sealed and never changing. It is always being revealed. Science teaches us that the truth is constantly evoking as our senses and experience continue to grow. Thus, we are always seeking more truth and allow for the possibility of transformation in our lives and communities. This stone brings us the core value of hope, as we hope for a greater knowledge and a gentler truth. JLA tells us in the second smooth stone, relationships are consensual and never coerced. There is no coercion in Unitarian Universalism. We are accountable to love, not sin, and we are here of our own free will. We choose to come together and build our communities with consent. This stone gives us the value of core love. With the third smooth stone, JLA tells us that we have a moral obligation to direct one's effort toward the establishment of a just and loving community. In other words, beloved community. That heaven on earth we seek is not here. We know that because there is still oppression, hate, war, greed, and indifference. Ukraine is being attacked. Transgender families are being attacked. Transgender people and people of color continue to face hardship. The disconnection is all around us. Because it is our responsibility to lead the just and loving community, we receive our core value of justice. JLA's fourth stone teaches us we deny the immaculate conception of virtue and affirm the necessity of social incarnation. In other words, good things don't just happen, and we aren't good people just because we say we are. We have to do good and be good in order for there to be good in the world. From this wisdom, we hear our fourth core value of courage, as it takes us courage to travel this path. Thankfully, JLA's fifth smooth stone tells us the resources, both divine and human, are available for the achievement of meaningful change, justify an attitude of ultimate optimism. JLA is assuring us we have everything we need right here, right now, to build the beloved community. We have this perfect planet, this wealth of knowledge, a never-ending sense of learning, a vision of community that is healing and whole for all people. Most importantly, we have each other. We are the Unitarian Universalist JLA was waiting for. And for all this, in deep gratitude, we sing out with our fifth and final core value, joy. These 5 core values, hope, love, justice, courage, and joy, are contained within the 3 disciplines of Unitarian Universalism as articulated by Connie Goodbread, the director of the Hope for Us conflict engagement team of the UUA. They are called disciplines because these are the areas or branches of Unitarian Universalism which, when put together from the study of our shared faith, are a collective. It's a spiritual practice. The first discipline of Unitarian Universalism is we are covenantal, not creedal. There is no belief requirement or creed that you have to say to join in this community, even though there are beliefs that we would consider to be outside the boundaries of the faith. There is, however, a requirement for us, should we wish to be together, to treat one another and to do the work of building beloved community together in love. Our covenants are the way in which we practice our religion together, and they are aspirational descriptions of how we want to be in the world. Because our relationships are consensual and never coerced, our covenants are the way in which we communicate to each other. The second discipline of Unitarian Universalism is we are pluralistic, not fundamentalist. Because revelation is ongoing and we are always learning new truth, fundamentalism does not exist in Unitarian Universalism. As Natalie Briscoe, lead of the Southern Region, always says, when you think you're right, you're wrong. You might be right now, but chances are not forever. As a liberal religion drawing from countless resources, there is no way that we collectively or individually can know almost anything. It might be better to say, I suspect, rather than I believe. The third discipline of Unitarian Universalism is ours is a living tradition, not dead. We are co-creators of Unitarian Universalism who bring it to life every time we learn, grow, teach, serve, and covenant together. Unitarian Universalism cannot be contained inside a book or 1,000 books. It can't be held in one congregation, one UUA, one building, one gathering. We make it every time we come together and bring more hope, love, justice, courage, and joy into the world. Unitarian Universalists are not typically concerned with what happens after we die. We believe that there really is a little way we can know about it, and besides, what we do in this life is far more important. Therefore, we have to build the beloved community now. This idea of a circle of peace, love, and justice for all, encircling all in protection and excludes no one, is our idea of heaven on earth. And it was never meant to be contained in these walls. It was never meant to be contained in our fellowship. It was never meant to be kept a secret, held here for us alone. And we were never meant to be building one-on-one. We're supposed to be together. What we do here in this life and at St. Gabriel UU Fellowship matters to all of our partners in the world, known or unknown, and those we have yet to meet. This is the essence of Widening the Circle, expanding core values and vision of Unitarian Universalism to include all people on earth, to the end that no one is left out. As Cornel West says, justice is what love looks like in public. It is the most moral imperative of this time, of all time, that we take the one holy love of Unitarian Universalism and create justice in this world for all people so that no one person lives with fear or hate or persecution or poverty or oppression. This is widening the circle and nothing less. Now, you may be looking at me and thinking, well, how in the thin mints are we going to do all that? Did I mention today is the last day for Girl Scout cookies in Texas? And that I might be living with a brownie scout? And that I might have some with me here in my trunk? No? Well, anyway, how are we supposed to do that, Rev Jami? You were asking us to literally remake the world. Yes, I am. That is exactly what I'm going to ask you to do. And that, my friends, is exactly why you hired me as your contract minister, because we have everything we need right here. Human and divine, we can do it. We are the resources we need. We are the Unitarian Universalists we've been waiting for. The time is now. The place is here. Service is our prayer, and love, one holy love, is the doctrine of this church. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
Okay. All right, I just want to be really clear about this. I have dibs on 3 boxes of Thin Mints. just very clear. I cannot find them anywhere. So for our closing hymn, as we near the end of our service, let us contemplate the words of today's closing hymn. Our closing hymn today is number 121 in the gray hymnal, "We Build a Land." The words in the hymn, "Brothers and sisters," in this text were written prior to our knowledge that there are multiple sexes and genders that exist on a continuum. And with the approval of the composer, we have now been updated to the words, "siblings in spirit," which is, I think, just beautiful. Please include this new language each time we sing the chorus on the second page. "Come build a land where siblings in spirit, anointed by God, may then create peace." We will sing all 4 verses, and again, you are welcome to stand.
So I'm going to attempt to do this thing. We'll see if it works. We're going to be doing, I feel like I'm going to say that. Well, I'm going to attempt to do this thing. We'll see if it works a lot with you all. I have 2 lights. Right now they both work. This is San Gabriel, and this is us, the collective, singular, me, you, one person. Sometimes life throws a lot at us. I'm not gonna light anything on fire, I promise. The pandemic, Ukraine, financial insecurity, sickness, depression. The list goes on and on. Sometimes it feels like we're drowning and there's no relief. And there's no help and you don't know where to go. Our lighter, it doesn't work anymore. Our spark is gone. But then you remember that there's the community at San Gabriel. And it will light your fire when yours goes out. And we are here under the big umbrella for you. And together, we will build the beloved community.
Okay. So we got circus and magic tricks. All right. So we end our service using these words to extinguish our chalice. Today, the words come from Reverend Rod Richards. Ever widening, perfectly imperfect, precisely imprecise. You won't be alone. We'll be side by side with one another, with people yet to come, with partners we have yet to meet, creating ever widening, perfectly imperfect, precisely imprecise, circles and ovals and oblong things of beauty, as we practice sacred flexibility, welcoming love and healing pain, and demanding justice and saving lives. Go forth and make some new shapes. Okay, and finally we have announcements. We are so glad you could join us today, and be sure to read the weekly messenger for ways to stay connected to SGUUF through groups and meetings. Our next in-person service is scheduled for March 6th. That's next weekend. It's the 6th, not the 7th, right? I'm looking at the, okay, great. Remember, if you would like to share joys and concerns, then please remain seated after our service. We would also like to remind you to join us for a film discussion on the movie Birth of a Nation, Monday, February 28th at 6:30 by Zoom. This discussion will be led by Kenneth Witherspoon, also just known as Spoon, and hosted by Michelle Augustine. Contact Michelle to get the Zoom link. I have 2 additional announcements that were given to me by Karina. Next Sunday after church, we will have a work day on the playground to build a raised vegetable garden. Lunch and childcare are provided, so please come join in for the fun. We hope that veggies from this garden will supplement our little free pantry. Let Karina know if you can help out. And I heard a rumor there might be Girl Scout cookies. Tuesday, March 8th. So not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, there is a star party from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at Gary Park. Come gaze at the stars with San Gabriel friends. with help from the Wilcrow Astronomy Club. Registration is required, so please check the messenger for details or let Karina know if you plan on attending. Oh, yeah. We have a thing for you. Hopefully this will counteract some of those Girl Scout cookies.
A little healthier choice to share with your family. But welcome so much to San Gabriel UU. We're glad you're here.
And I can hold that for you.
Thank you. I hope we do some wonderful work together, and I hope that you find community. And if you haven't been here in a long time, I hope you give me a chance. And I hope if you have been here a long time, that you continue to show up. Thank you so much.